Frankie, and today I'm going to be taking you through a chair-based exercise class where we're working on the cardiovascular system. So that is going to be strengthening up your heart and your lungs. So you won't need any equipment for this apart from your chair. So you can do it all from a seating position. So first things first, we're going to get ourselves warmed up, but to do that we need to get into our working position. So right now we're sitting back in the chair, we're nice and relaxed. What I want us to do first is to get our feet underneath our knees, so make sure that their legs are going straight down, and then we're going to pick ourselves up away from the back of the chair and sit up nice and tall. Make sure your shoulders are pushed back and your chest is up. So you're not using the back of the chair for support, you're having to use your core instead. And from here, we want to get to the front of the chair. So what we're going to do is bum shuffle all the way forward so that our bum is right on the edge of the chair. Make sure that those feet have come with you and that they're underneath your feet, underneath your knees, and you're still sitting up nice and tall. So we're going to get that body warmed up. We're going to start with a toe tap. So we're tapping the toes on the floor, just like this. Keep your heels on the floor. You're lifting your toes up as high as you can and then tapping them on the floor with a little bit of force so you can feel it going up your leg. Nice and steady. It's up to you how fast you go. You can stay with me, you can go faster, or you can go slower. So we're going to do this for 3, 2, 1. And now I want us to start lifting up our heels. So this is similar to the toe taps, but this time the toes stay on the floor and the heels come up. And again, you just lifting them up as high as you feel comfortable, as high as your ankles will allow, and the speed again is completely up to you. So keep going with those heel taps for 3, 2, 1. We're now going to move to a leg march. So what we're doing is we're picking our legs up one at a time, lift them as high as you feel comfortable, and I want us to lift the heel up first and then let the toes follow. And then when you put your foot back down, you put your toes first and roll through your foot until your foot is flat on the floor. And again, that speed is up to you. You can stay with me, go faster or go slower. Just keep moving those legs nice and steady. And then from here, we're going to do it for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your legs and start moving your arms. So we're swinging them forwards and backwards. Now the most important part of this motion is the backwards motion. So we're driving the elbow as far back as we can. As you're driving that elbow back, you're opening up your chest, which is going to make those lungs nice and big, which makes breathing easier. So make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall. We might have hunched a little bit, so let's recheck that posture while we're up. Swinging those arms forward and back, going back as far as you can. As you get a little bit warmer, you might find that those arms go back a bit further. We're going to go back to that leg march in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your arms and start with those legs again. So we're a little bit warmer now, so we might be able to go a little bit faster. Keep picking them up. You might be able to lift them higher. As those legs loosen up, as you warm up your muscles, you might be able to pick them a little bit higher. So that body should be feeling warm now, or at least warmer than it was. And you might feel that heart pumping a little bit faster. You might feel a little bit breathless. Nothing too crazy, but just keep moving that body for me. From here, we're going to go to a tap and a clap with those hands. So let's do the leg march for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I want us to tap our legs and clap in front of our faces if you can. And again, you're just staying with me for the speed, or you're going slower or faster. It's up to you. If it hurts your shoulders to lift them up so high, just make your tap clap a little bit lower. But if you can, pick them up nice and high. So it's good for warming up those shoulders. It's good for that coordination, working that body. Let's do it for another 5, 4, 3, let's go back to that leg march, even warmer now. So you might be able to go even faster, lifting those legs even higher than before. Keeping them moving, keeping them steady. Final part of the warm-up now. Keep moving those legs for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest those legs for me. Let's bum shuffle back into the chair and relax. So now that that body is nice and warm, we're going to go into our mobility exercises. So this is all about loosening up your joints, getting them moving so that as we progress through the workout and start working a bit harder, the joints and the muscles are ready. We've warmed up the muscles, it's the joints' turn now. So we're going to get back into that working position. So feet are underneath those knees and we're going to sit up nice and tall away from the back of the chair. Let's bum shuffle to the front so that we're sitting on the edge and those feet are still underneath those knees and we're still sitting up nice and tall. We're going to start with the side bends. So I want you to place your hands on the legs of your chair at the sides here. Watch me for the first one and then we'll do it all together. We're going to run the hand down the side of the chair and take our upper body with it, but make sure our bum is still sat on the chair. Then that way you know you're not going to fall off. We're going to go to one side and then the other. So make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall. Hands on the side of the chair. Let's do our first one in 3, 2, 1. We slide to the side, dropping that hand down as low as you feel comfortable while keeping that bum on the chair. Come back up, sitting nice and tall and going down the other side. So that's why you need both legs of the chair on both hands and back up for me. And let's do it again on the first side. So as you mobilize that spine, which is what this one is doing, and back up again, you might find that each time we do it, we might be able to get a little bit lower. So keep leaning and up. Let's do it again. So leaning down, back to the first side now, and all the way back up. Make sure we're still sitting up tall, and let's go down to the other side. Keeping the bum on the chair, keeping the chest up, and back to the center. Let's do it one more time on each side. So leaning down, holding it here for a little bit, and then lifting it back up, still sitting tall. And all last time on this side, hold it here, and come back up to sitting. Lovely. So now that we've mobilized that spine, we're now going to mobilize our shoulders. So we're going to do shoulder lifts to start with. So you're going to sit up nice and tall with those feet underneath those knees. We're going to raise the shoulders up to our ears, hold it, and then drop them back down. So let's do it all together in 3, 2, 1. You're lifting those shoulders up, still sitting up nice and tall, hold it, and then push them back down and push them down so they go nice and low. And let's do that again. Lift them up to your ears, nice and high, still sitting up tall, and push them away, push them down so you can really feel them working. And let's pull them back up again. Make sure that chest is high and we're still sitting tall, and drop them back down. Let's do it one more time. Lift them up high and drop him back down. Lovely. So now that we're a little bit more mobilized that way, we're now going to take it up a level and do shoulder circles. Now, if shoulder circles is too much for you, just stay with the lifts. So watch me for the first one. We're going to bring the shoulders forward, lift them up to our ears, push them back down, and come back to the starting position. So they're going to do a big circle. So let's do it all together in 3, 2, 1. You will push your shoulders forward, lift them up to your ears, push them back behind you, and roll them back to the starting position. Let's go straight into round 2. Lifting them all the way up, pushing them back and down. And again, forward, up, back and down. Make sure we're still sitting up tall. Last one now, forward, up, back and down. Lovely. Still sitting up nice and tall with our feet under our knees. So the third mobility exercise we're doing is our twists. So this is a big rotation all around your middle, and it's going to really get you moving, so it makes it easier to look behind you. So we're going to start making sure we're in our working position with our feet under our knees and sitting up nice and tall. Watch me for the first one. I'm going to take my hand and hold the back of my chair. I'm then going to take my other hand across my body and either put it on the side of my leg or the side of my chair, wherever it is that you can reach, and you're going to look behind you over your shoulder. So this is going to really get your middle moving, but it's also going to move your neck as well and open up your shoulders, open up your chest. So let's do it all together. We're going to alternate sides when we do this. So you're going to take one hand and take it to the back of your chair. So you're already twisting a little bit. We're going to twist even further by taking the other hand to the side, wherever it is you can reach. Now look over your back shoulder and feel that twist in your trunk. Hold it and come back to the center. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's do it on the other side. Take the hand back. Hand goes across your body and you're looking over your back shoulder. Looking behind you, hold it for a little bit and then come back to the center. So that's one on each side. Let's go for two. So hand goes back, arm goes across, look behind you. Keep your bum on the seat. That way you're not going to go anywhere and you're just twisting your trunk back to the center, and let's do it on the other side. Hold the back of the chair, arm goes across, looking behind you. So really good for your neck as well as your trunk. And back to the center. Let's do it again for round 3. Hold the back of the chair, arm across, look behind you. So this exercise is really good at helping you do things like look behind you. So if you're out and about and someone calls your name and you find it difficult to turn around, this is the movement you want to do to help you with that. So let's do it again on the other side. Back of the chair, arm across, looking behind you, over your back shoulder. Twist it a little bit more if you can, and back to the center. We're going to do it one more time on each side. So this is the chance now to really push through if you can. Get a little bit more out of the move. So really try and push it a bit further than you have done before. See if you can get even further round. Back to the center. One more time on the other side. Hand on the back, arm across, looking behind you. And back to the center, sitting up nice and tall. So the final one we're going to be doing is our ankle activators. So what we're going to be doing, watch me for the first one, is you pick your foot up off the floor, you put your toes down onto the floor, lifting your heel up. You take a look at where the point is, where your foot went to the floor, lift your foot back up and put your heel in exactly the same spot. So we're going to do one side and then we'll do the other. So all together, pick up your foot and put your toes on the floor. Heel is up. Lift your foot up, take a look and put your heel in the exact same spot. So that's one. Let's do it again. Foot up and toes down on the spot. Foot up and heels down on the spot. Foot up, toes down. Foot up, heel down. Let's do it one more time on this side. So toes down and heel down. Lovely. Put that foot flat on the floor. We're going to do the same on the other side. So lift up the foot, toes down. Lift up the foot again and heels down. Good. And again, toes down and heel down. Make sure we're still sitting up tall. Toes down and heel down. So this one's really good at helping you pick up your feet at different angles. So it's going to help when you're walking so you don't trip up. And toes down and heel down. And then foot flat on the floor and bring it back. Bum shuffle to the back of the chair and relax. So now that we're nice and warm, we're going to go into our cardiovascular section. So we're going to build up through the levels. We're going to start with the same moves that we did in the warm-up, and then we're going to build it up. If you get to a point where you've had enough, you can obviously just stop. But if you want to carry on but maybe not take it up a level, just stay with the exercises that we do at the beginning. All right, it's always working to your level. If you can push a little bit harder, then you definitely should. So let's get into our working position. Bum shuffle to the front of your chair. Feet are underneath your knees and we're sitting up nice and tall, using that core to stabilize yourself. And we're going to go straight into our leg march. So let's pick up one leg at a time. Nice and steady. So this is level 1. So remember what we said in the warm-up. You're lifting your heel first and then your toes. And then when you put your foot back down, your toes go first and your heel rolls through. Nice and steady, just keeping it moving for now. So by the end of this little section, your heart rate is going to have been raised. You're going to be feeling nice and warm and you should feel a little bit out of breath. All right, it's going to help that heart be nice and strong so that when you're out and about, you can go for longer, which is always nice. So we're now going to take it to an arm swing. So stop your legs in 3, 2, 1, and arm swing for me, just like we did in the warm-up. So remembering that the back swing is more important than the front swing. So driving those elbows back. Okay, it's not about how high your arms come up here, it's about how far they go back behind you. Keep swinging them, remembering that the pace is up to you, okay? You can stay with me, you can go faster or slower, and that applies with all the exercises that we're doing. You never have to go faster than you feel comfortable. Just keep going, and we're going to go back to the leg march in 3, 2, 1. So let's go back to that leg march, nice and steady. Feeling a little bit warmer now, the heart rate should be a little bit higher. So we might be able to go a bit faster. We might be able to lift that leg a little bit higher. Whatever it is you're doing, just make sure that you're pushing through, but you know that you feel comfortable at the same time. So we're going to go to our tap and our clap, just like we did in the warm-up. In 3, 2, 1. We tap and clap, tap and clap. Now, if we can, let's try and take those arms a little bit higher. All right, we've already done our warm-up, so our shoulders are warm. And we've done our mobilizing exercises, so they're feeling nice and loose as well. So you might be able to go a little bit higher than before. If you can, you definitely should. Keeping it going, keeping it steady. Find your rhythm and just keep going. So we're now going to start taking the moves up a level. We're going to go back to the leg march in 3, 2, 1. Back to that leg march for me. Nice and steady. Maybe a little bit faster than before. Maybe a little bit higher than before. But moving those legs. Let's check that posture. So let's make sure we're still sitting up nice and tall. As you get tired, you might slump. Push your chest forward and pull that string on top of your head so you're up. We're going to start using our arms at the same time as our legs. So when you're ready, just one arm, start swinging it for me. Remember that drive back? When you think you've got that, start with the other arm. So it's legs and arms together now, combining the two. Keeping it moving, keeping it steady. So you now should feel that heart rate getting nice and high. Every time it beats, it gets a little bit stronger. So keep pushing through. Arms and legs, we're using the whole body. That's why it feels a little bit harder than before. Keeping it going nice and steady. We're going to go to our tap and our clap. But again, we're going to take it up a level. In 3, 2, 1. We tap and clap to the side. Tap and clap. So you're clapping to the side now, which means you're going to have to get a little bit of a lean going on. Make sure you keep both of your bum cheeks on the seat. That way you're not going to go anywhere. But you're having to use your core, that's your tummy muscles, and you're having to use your muscles in your back as well to help you stabilize. So we're going to get those working too. That's it. Keep going nice and steady. Lifting those arms higher if you can. It's as high as you can, all right? If it hurts to lift them that high, keep them low. But if you can, lift them up. Nice and steady. We're going to go back to the leg and arm march in 3, 2, 1. So let's get the legs and let's get those arms going, both of them together. Remembering that if you don't like this higher level, you can just stay with the leg march. But if you can, get those arms moving at the same time, because it's going to make that heart work a little bit harder and get a little bit stronger. Keep moving them nice and steady, driving those elbows back, still sitting up nice and tall. So after this, we're going to be going into a canoeing motion. So I'm going to show you before we go into it, okay? Because it's a brand new move. So keep going with those arms and our legs and watch me. I put my hands together, I canoe to one side and then canoe to the other. So I'm driving my paddle through the water, pushing it behind me, okay? So when you're ready, with me in 3, 2, 1, hands together, drive it back. So we're having to get a little twist going on right now as you're twisting to the side to get your oar there. So keep going nice and steady, still trying to sit up nice and tall, all right? Don't slouch, sit up nice and tall. Twisting from side to side, lifting those arms up as high as you can. Nice and steady. Keeping it going. We're going to go back to the leg and the arm march in 3, 2, 1. Legs moving and arms moving, driving them back. So you should feel a little bit out of puff now, all right? We've been doing this for about 7 minutes, so you should be feeling a little bit out of puff. That's a good thing. It means you're working hard and that heart is working hard as well. And that's what we like, because that's how we make it stronger. So we're going to go back to our tap and our clap, leaning to the sides for it in 3, 2, 1. Tap and clap to the side. Remember to try and lift those hands up nice and high as you do it. Always keeping that bum on the seat, and that way you know you're not going to go anywhere. But getting your core working, getting all the muscles around your trunk working, and in your shoulders as you lift up those arms nice and high. Keeping it going. We're going to go back to the leg and the arm march in 3, 2, 1. Arms and legs. Legs then arms, sorry. That's it, keep going, marching nice and steady with the legs, driving the arms back, trying to get them as far back as you can. So you're really working that backward motion. That's going to work your shoulders and your back. It's going to help with your posture and make sure that you're still sitting up nice and tall so that your lungs are big to help with that breathing. If you compress your lungs, it's going to be much harder to get those big breaths in. That's going to help you push through this cardiovascular workout. All right, so keep going with the leg and the arm march for me. I'm going to show you the next move. We're going to be doing some sprints, still sitting in the seat. We're going to be doing our leg march, and when I say go, you're going to sprint. So you're going to move those legs and those arms as quick as you can. back to the leg and the arm march. All right, so I'm going to count us in and we're going to sprint for about 8 seconds. So are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Start sprinting for me. Legs as fast as you can and the arms as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the leg and the arms. It's as fast as you feel comfortable. Just catch your breath after those sprints. You should have felt that working. It's going to push that heart nice and high. Make it strong. You should be definitely out of puff now. All right, we're going to go again for those sprints. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go, let's go. Nice and quick for me. Moving those arms and those legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Back to the legs and the arms. Nice and steady. Still sitting up tall for me. Even when you're tired, make sure you sit up tall. Driving the arms back. We're going to do those sprints one more time, all right? Get ready. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Come on. This is it. The final time now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Sit up tall. Working those legs. You should be nice and warm. You should feel that heart pumping. You should feel a little bit out of puff. I know I am. Keep going nice and steady. We're going to start working our way back down now. So we're going to do that canoe again, but we're going to do it, make it a little bit easier, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, hands together and just lightly canoe, all right? You're not driving this time. You're just getting a little bit of a twist going on. Gently moving those arms left and right. Nice and steady. We're going to take ourselves back down. Let the heart rate come down slowly. When you work out, when you get that heart rate up, your blood pressure goes up. So when we come back down, we need it to come back down slowly so that you don't feel lightheaded. So that's why you cool down, you don't just stop. So we're going to go back to the leg and the arm march in 3, 2, 1. Legs and arms. Slow it down a little bit, maybe not as fast as you were doing it before. Still sitting up nice and tall though. That is the most important bit. Sitting up tall. Driving those arms back, lifting those legs. And we're going to go to the tap and the clap, leaning to the side when we do it. In 3, 2, 1. Tap and clap. But again, we're not working so hard as we were before. You might not be lifting those arms as high. Just nice and gently, bringing ourselves back down slowly. Leaning to the side. Catching that breath as you do it. We're going to go back to the leg and the arm march in 3, 2, 1. Legs and arms again a little bit slower than before. Taking it easy. You should feel that heart rate coming back down. Nice and steady. And I want us to let those arms rest at your sides. Keep moving those legs for me. Up and down, still rolling through the foot. Still sitting up nice and tall. We're going to go back to the tap and the clap, but we're going to go back to level 1 where we do it in front of our faces. In 3, 2, 1. We tap and clap. Nice and steady. Doesn't have to be super high with those arms because we're bringing it back down and taking it easy. All right, back to the leg march in 3, 2, 1. Leg march, keeping it steady. Slowing it down with me, stay with me, lifting it slow. 3, 2, 1. And bum shuffle back into your seat and relax. So that is it for the cardiovascular. The next section is our stretch at the end. Hopefully you're feeling like you've worked your body, that heart rate went nice and high, and you feel a little bit out of puff. We're going to take it easy for the stretches, okay? We still got to be in that working position, so feet under your knees, sitting up nice and tall away from the back of the chair. Bum shuffle forward for me so you're sat on the edge, feet under the knee still sitting up nice and tall. Let's do our chest stretch first. So for this one, you're going to take your hands back behind you. You're going to push your chest forward, lift your head up nice and high, and feel the stretch across your chest. So let's do it together. Hands go back, push your elbows together, push your shoulders back, lift yourself up nice and tall. So we're doing this one first because it's going to make your lungs nice and big. So you can get lots of oxygen in, which is going to help you recover after that cardiovascular section, because you should be feeling a little bit out of puff after it. Hold it for a little bit longer and release. Give them a little circle just to loosen them up a bit. Lovely big stretch. All right, the next one we're going to do is our back of thigh stretch. So we're going to pop your foot out nice and long for me, so your leg is straight. Make sure it's nice and relaxed. Give it a wiggle, all right? You don't want anything too tense. If you can feel it stretching the back of your thigh already, then just stay here. But if you do want to get a little bit of a deeper stretch, hands go on your bent knee and you lean forward into it. Now when you lean forward, don't curve your back over. Push your chest forward and sit up tall still. You're just leaning, hinging from your hips here. And you should feel a deeper stretch in the back of your leg. Hold it here for a little bit longer. And coming back up and bring that leg in. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Leg out nice and long. Make sure it's straight. Give it a wiggle so it's relaxed. And again, if this is enough, then stay here. Otherwise, hands go on your bent knee and leaning forward. So this is going to help if you're ever sat in your seat and you need to pick something up off the floor. This is a really good one to help with that, as well as putting on your shoes and your socks. Leaning in and coming back up and pulling that foot in. So we're now going to do our calf stretch. So that's the back of the leg here. Very similar to the back of thigh, but this time when you put your leg out nice and long, you're going to pretend you've got a piece of string on your toes and you're pulling it towards you. As you push your toes towards you, you should feel the stretch in the back of your calf. If this is enough, then stay here. Otherwise, lean forward and get a slightly deeper stretch in that calf. Another one that's going to help you put your shoes and your socks on. It's also going to help lengthen your calf muscles, which means it will be easier when you're walking to lift your foot up and down, so you're less likely to trip. And come back in, bring that foot in, exactly the same on the other side. Leg nice and long, pull those toes towards you so you feel the stretch in the back of your calf. Lean forward to get a slightly deeper stretch. That's it. If this is your first time, make sure you stay with the level you're comfortable with. But if you've done it a few times now, lean into it a bit further and try and make those calf muscles a little bit longer. And coming back and bringing that foot back in. Let's recheck that posture. Feet under the knees and sitting up nice and tall. We've got one more stretch and it's our up and our over. So this one is going to work our triceps and our shoulders. So just watch me for the first one. You're going to touch your shoulder with your hand. The other hand is going to push it up to the side of your head, as high as you can push it. You're going to stretch your tricep here. Then we're going to extend the arm and lean over. So we're stretching the side of our body. You're going to come back in, bend your elbow and let it come down. So let's do it all together on one side. Choose the side you're starting with. Touch your shoulder, other hand pushes it up into the air to the side of your head. And you should feel it start to stretch in the back of your tricep just there. Leave it here for a little bit and then extend the arm into the air and lean across. Make sure you keep both bum cheeks on the chair so that you know you're not going to go anywhere. And then come back in, bend your elbow and support it back down. So now we're going to work the other side, exactly the same stretch. Touch your shoulder, other hand lifts it up into the air to the side of your head, as high as you can. Again, if it's your first time, just take it to the point you're comfortable. If you've done it a few times now, see if you can push it a little bit further. And now we're going to extend the arm into the air, so it's a straight arm, and lean to the side, keeping our bum cheeks on that seat though, so we know we're not going to go anywhere. Just stretching the side of your body. And then come back sitting up tall, bend the elbow and support it back down. And then from here we're going to bum shuffle back into our seat and relax. So that's the end of our cardiovascular class today. So that was all about raising the heart rate and helping strengthen up the heart and the lungs. So it's going to help when you're out and about, when you're walking, with all your activities that you like to do. It's going to help strengthen up your lungs and heart, which means that you'll be able to do them for longer and it will make them easier as well. So thank you very much for joining. Check out some of the other classes that we've got for strength and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.